is on the air. Presented by your Super Chevy dealers and Home Bank. Good for business, good for life. It's time to talk LSU football on the flagship home of the Tigers. Call 225-499-9898. It's Eagle 98.1 Game Day. Now, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios, here's Charles Handegriff and Richard Condon.
The night began with a send-off for the seniors and ended with a touchdown that sent Coach O out a winner in his final game as LSU head coach. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Eagle 98.1 Game Day. I'm Charles Handegriff along with Richard Condon. First, the game. LSU a 27-24 winner. Well, LSU led it from the first drive until halfway through the fourth quarter when a broken play gave A&M the lead. Zach Calzada bought himself some time and hit Jalen Preston for a 32-yard touchdown that saw him cross the field and made the score 24-20 about halfway through the fourth quarter. And then the fun started. A punt, a near first down for Texas A&M, but LSU got the football back with just under 2 minutes to go and 85 yards between themselves. Later, it was over. LSU 27, A&M 24. The Tigers were battered and bruised going in. Would it be an inspired effort or a team ready to head to the holiday break? It was evident very early that it would be the former. Still, the short-handed Tigers made mistakes, and it looked like the missed blocks, dropped passes, indecision by both players and coaches at times might make the game too long for this team. But they didn't quit. They played with heart, and those that were there appreciated it. Now the aftermath. Ed Ogeron has coached his last game at LSU. A potential bowl game will see Brad Davis as the interim coach. Though I do really wish that somebody had asked him in the postgame, Ed, you're not going to coach the bowl game. Who is? If he'd have said, I think it's Lincoln Riley, but you got to ask Scott. I think that would have been a good line. Anyway, this team desperately needs some time off, but that talent evaluation period will be invaluable for whoever the new coach is. Coach O probably watched the game from Destin. Now about that new coach. The list we've been working off of since Ogeron's parting of the ways 6 weeks ago has always had Lincoln Riley at the top. Oklahoma lost Bedlam tonight, 37-33. On the craziest game of the day, I think. This day in college football has been one of the most fun in a long time. So the fact that I think that was the craziest game we saw today is really saying something. So Scott Woodward, as he is known for some time, is officially on the clock. If Lincoln Riley is the guy, then there's no reason they can't proceed with that almost immediately. Rich, it was an interesting day, to say the least, in college football. It was an emotional day at Tiger Stadium. It ended with a lot of smiles, a lot of good feelings, and a big, big effort from a team that, man, you just didn't know what they had left.
I want to say thank you to offensive coordinator Doug Dickey at A&M and Jimbo Fisher.
Yeah.
A&M's second to last possession of the game on 3rd and 2. And they almost picked up a first down. To have a quarterback that is right-handed rolling out to the left and throwing the football.
I've
at
seen
that
enough
point.
of that.
Thank you. And, we'll talk about LSU football over the years, Charlie. We can go back over the years in the earthquake game and the Ole Miss game in 72, turn back the clock, Oregon State, the mixed extra point game, and so many unbelievable things that have happened in the LSU-Auburn game. But I think this game, or series, this game will always be going back to the drive. And you're talking about, he's Max Johnson on that third play. What is it, third down or second down when he got rocked?
Yeah.
And he got up, and he looked a little smelling salts like. And for that guy to do what he did tonight and make that throw to Jeray Jenkins, it's an incredible thing. And you look at this game tonight, and no matter what faction of the LSU fan base you are, right? So you're South Louisiana, you're Cajun, hometown guy, gets the job in 2016. You're happy he goes out a winner, okay? You look at what happened tonight in Stillwater. For those group of fans who are saying, you know what, you just can't go 11-11, 5-5, and then 6-6, right? You can't go 11-11 and be the head coach at LSU. Those days are gone. And then when you look back at some of the coaches LSU has hired, you realize how far the program has come. From the Bo Ryans to the Nick Sabans and all these coaches, if you looked at their record before they got the job, how about Jerry Donato at Vanderbilt? Curly Holman, thank you, Brett Favre. I mean, this is the most exciting I've been, Charlie, when it comes to naming a new head coach. And this is 10 head coaching changes I've been through. From Bo Ryan, who tragically lost his life on January 10th of 1980, to Jerry Stovall, to Bill Arnsparger. And let's not forget, when Bill Arnsparger came in, he was a defensive coordinator at Miami. So who knows what he's going to do? He had never been a head coach. Then you go from him to Mike Archie being his defensive coordinator. I mean, all the head coaching changes in my lifetime, this is number 10. This is the most excited I have ever been. In the past, you're an LSU fan, you hope for the best, it works out. Even Les Miles' record at Oklahoma State wasn't good. He was 16-16 in that conference. So there's never been one hire up to this point. Let's look at worst-case scenario, and it wouldn't be. If the hire is going to be Lincoln Riley, well, I mean, his track record is his track record, man. 5 Big 12 titles, could have 6, and then you look at what he's done in his record. Well, let's just say they don't get Lincoln Riley, and all the speculation is they are. So you get Dave Aranda goes 2-7 to 10-2. I mean, if you think about all the possibilities, LSU was not gonna whoever they hire to replace that Ogeron, it's gonna be a positive. Because you know they either getting Lincoln Riley or Dave Aranda. Wouldn't you agree to that? Such thing as a certain guarantee in life. But if it's not Lincoln Riley, it's going to be Dave Aranda. Because Dave Aranda's not going to stay in Waco if LSU comes calling.
I'm not exactly sure if it's not Lincoln Riley that it's going to be Dave Aranda. Lincoln Riley's at the top of the list. We're in agreement there. I'm not willing to bring it to just 2 guys. My list is a little bit longer than that after Riley. Not much, but he would be right there. I think that the build-up in the last 2 days has been so much for Lincoln Riley. Look, Bedlam tonight, one of the craziest games you'll ever see. They're playing Colin Baton Rouge over the loudspeaker because the
first half, because
the Oklahoma State PA guy, whatever, is trolling Oklahoma. Very funny, you know. If it gets past him, if something goes sideways at the end, then I've got a couple of other guys that are still on my list too. But Aranda is certainly right there.
You know, you look at this, Charlie, you look at this whole scenario, and going into this game, I think the average LSU fan, man, let's just win the game. Certain people like to go to a bowl game. Don't know what bowl game it's going to be. LSU's a big draw, so they'll go to a bowl game. What did you say before we kicked off? 13 SEC teams are bowl eligible?
Yeah, first time ever.
LSU's going to go to a bowl game. LSU pretty much travels well, and the only thing that may limit that a little bit is that Edo won't be on the sideline. And I think for LSU right now, it's best they move on. I know for the Edo people, they don't like that. And look, what I saw tonight.
He decided that.
Yeah, I know. But you know what, Charlie? What I saw tonight from the effort of these players, when you look at what these guys did tonight, I refuse to believe after this win that when they came back and for 2/3 of the second half, they got dominated. And, you know, when they scored with under 2 minutes to go in the first half, I'm going, that's the key moment of the game. And up until that 3rd and 2 call by A&M for LSU to get another opportunity to go down and score and win the game, overall, it doesn't matter what fan you are when it comes to LSU and what your loyalty is and the future of LSU and a past and Edo being one of us, whatever the scenario is, tonight was perfect. You know what? Just think about this. Just think if you got relatives who hadn't left your house yet to go back home for Thanksgiving, and either he or she went to Oklahoma or Auburn. What kind of attitude you think they got right now?
There was a lot of people that had fun with this, okay? The Texas fans had fun with this. The Oklahoma State fans had fun with this. The LSU fans, whether you liked Ed Ogeron or not, you wanted to beat A&M. there have been times we've done post-game shows where we've had people call and say, I don't want LSU to win tonight because I don't like the coach. Well, the coach has already been gone, so there's no reason not to root for him. The Jimbo Fisher dynamic is also interesting because he's got this massive contract, and 2 of the last 3 years, he's gone 4-4 in the Southeastern Conference now with what you have there tonight. And because his name has been linked so often to the LSU program, a lot of LSU fans are having fun with that, going, we're glad we dodged a $95 million bullet. I don't think that's altogether fair, but I understand why it's out there. Fisher's being paid an enormous amount of money, and it ain't to go 4-4. And in 3 of the 4 years that he's been at A&M, he's been right at the middle.
What do you think Penn State fans are thinking right now?
Penn State
7-5.
He was 7-5. Mel Tucker got
10 years.
Got $95 million right after getting blown right out of the shoe. So yeah, I think a lot of the fans were having fun with that aspect of it too tonight.
Since Matt Mark, he had the injury, came back and led LSU to the national title in 2003, and that whole wearing number 18 jersey, exemplifying a player who overcomes injuries and just is a great representative of the university. Yeah, leadership, the whole bit. And Jacob sits in that chair, right? Or is it my chair? Either way.
Yours.
All right, Jacob sits in this chair every day. And I will say this. If I had to wear a jersey, it would be number 18. No disrespect to Jay. I love him. Great guy. It would be Damone Clark. You know what, Charlie? I hadn't worn an LSU jersey since Brad Davis wore number 48. And it was fishnet back in 72, right?
Was it tearaway?
No, it wasn't tearaway. It was a fishnet. But if I had to wear an LSU jersey in my age, I'd walk around with Clark on the back, number 18. That guy does not stop. And look, even though he had a couple of, 2.5 sacks and a couple of tackles for losses, I think 10 tackles for the game, even when he doesn't make a play, he makes a play. Does that make sense? I mean, he goes from sideline to sideline, and he puts his teammates in a position to make a play. That guy is absolutely incredible. If I was an NFL scout, right, an NFL coach, and it would work out in the draft based on where I'm picking, I want number 18 on my team.
He moved himself up a lot in the last 3 months, a lot. 499-9898 is the number to call. Tigers win it tonight, 27-24. This is Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
For over 14 years, Audi of Baton Rouge on Airline Highway has provided buyers with both an unparalleled buying and ownership experience. Every day, their goal is to create customers for life. How do they do that? By offering the best product, the best buying experience, the best ownership experience, and the best ownership value, as well as innovative services like Audi at your door or the Summer of Audi sales event. Find out more at Audi of Baton Rouge, 11955 Airline Highway or AudiBatonRouge.com.
Contacting your workers' comp carrier shouldn't be a painful process.
Service Mastery Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Mastery Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Mastery Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Lee Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person, connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law offices of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Front to Back Boat Service has been family owned and operated for 30 years. And the Sherman family is NMEA certified. That's the National Marine Electronics Association at Front to Back. They are committed to improving the safety and technology of marine electronics through installer training, interface standards. And look, the fall and the winter, it's the perfect time to do that yearly maintenance you've been putting off. Get those parts you've been wanting. So schedule your appointment today at Front to Back, North Airway off of Airline Highway.
$898 is the number to call. All right, so a couple of things. Apparently during our open or sometime in the last 25 minutes, Lincoln Riley went to the podium after Bedlam and said, I'm not going to be the next LSU coach. All right. Believe him, don't believe him. I don't know. Okay, I've heard coaches get up and tell bald-faced lies before.
Nick Saban wasn't going to Alabama.
Right, exactly. So, believe him or not, that's what he said. Okay, so that'll – if he is the next LSU coach, that'll hang around his neck for a while. And if he's not, then the guy got up and he told the truth. You asked me in the first segment who the list I was working off of. This is the list I've been working off of for the last, 3 weeks or so. It was Riley, Aranda, Cristobal, Campbell, Napier. Those are the five. I didn't feel like it would come from outside of those five. Those were the ones that I've been working with. If it's not Riley, I don't know if Aranda has agreed over at Baylor. He has said he's very happy. There was a contract extension that was on the table, etc. Campbell has been linked to the USC job. Napier has been linked to the Florida job. Cristobal's they won today. So, that's the five I've been working off of. If it comes from outside of those five, then, hey, listen, Woodward kept it as close to his vest as possible. If it's somebody that's completely off the radar, then good for him. I never claimed to say, look, I know who it is, and this is who it's going to be. I don't have that information, okay? I don't have Scott Woodward's phone tapped. I don't know what's going on. I do know that I don't put a whole lot of stock into who followed who on Twitter. I don't put any stock into FlightAware stuff. Okay, all that stuff is too easily faked. And even if it were true, okay, Woodward's not dumb enough to get on an LSU plane and go to the town where that coach is, that everybody in the world can see him, everybody in the world can track him. Skip Bertman told us the story. When they interviewed Bobby Petrino, they did it in a rundown motel in the middle of Memphis where nobody would see him, okay? So if
you pulled a bumper up, El Camino, and the kids were in the back?
So if Scott Woodward actually did an interview in person, it was probably in a Quality Inn somewhere in a little small town outside of a town with a big airport, somewhere in North Dallas or South Atlanta or who knows. So I don't put a whole lot of stock into that stuff.
But are you surprised a little bit?
That Riley said that?
Yeah. I guess after a loss, Stillwater, does he say that just to kind of get out of there, go back home, regroup, get with his agent?
It might have, but he could have said that on Monday and saved himself a week's worth of speculation. Tonight, all you got to do is say, "Hey, look, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow," and that's
so
it.
the whole speculation during the week, and I know it was on Twitter, but like an 8-year deal valued at $96 million, between $12 and $13 million a season.
Yeah, I got $100 million, but yeah.
But do you think those people are just looking for Twitter hits? It's to get attention. There was no validity to it.
No, because if Woodward, when he does sign the next head coach, that guy was one of, if not the highest paid coach in college football. That wasn't going to be a surprise. He's done that before, so that's the number you got to hit now if you want the highest paid coach in college football. Some of the guys on this list, Riley in particular, probably would have demanded that money. If there's another name out there that we don't know about that is a bigger name, then it probably demands that money. I'm only going to say one more thing about potential candidates before we go to the phone lines, and that's the name that Mark Stoops came up. Okay, Stoops they blew Louisville out tonight. They're 9-3. We're talking about the head coach of Kentucky, and they were 5-3 in the league this season. If he hires Mark Stoops, it will. You said this is the most excited you've ever been in LSU history for a head coach.
You brought up Mark Stoops.
Okay, no. If he hires Mark Stoops, it will be the most disappointing hire in the history of LSU athletics.
I agree with you.
The biggest letdown
based on what the program has accomplished.
Ever. Okay? The biggest letdown ever. I know a lot of people said, Ed Ogeron was a defensive line. Of course he does. Of course he does. I'm just saying that. But, when Ed Ogeron got the job, a lot of people said, well, it's a defensive line coach. Hey, look, that guy had a lot of things that people liked here because he was from Louisiana, the recruiting and all that stuff. There are things I can sell on this list for every one of these coaches that I just gave you, the 5 coaches. All right? There were some positive things that I could sell with Ed Ogeron. I could sell some positive things with Les Miles. I can't sell nothing with Mark Stoops. I can't sell one signature season. I can't sell great recruiter. I can't sell up-and-coming coach. I can't sell innovative offense or defense. Nothing.
Yeah, but you know what?
Can I sell? He's a solid football coach, but he's a coach at Kentucky.
But, Charlie, you know what? I mean, you talk about Jackie Sherrill at Mississippi State. You can get on one recruiting class, you follow me, and get on a little bit of a roll, win a few games, and people thinking you can take that program to the next level and consistently win in the conference. You cannot do that at Kentucky. You cannot do that at Mississippi State. There are programs in this conference, it's not going to happen. And because Mark Stoops pulled up a couple of good wins, how many years he's been there? 3?
9.
No.
Yes. I mean, come on.
9?
9.
Wow.
I mean, there's
I got to do a better job keeping up with Kentucky football.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want to do. No, there's nothing I can sell there. Not a thing.
When you've been in Kentucky for 9 years, there's a reason.
Yeah, there's nothing I can sell there. So I'll mention that, and then we'll move on. I
thought Frank Kersey was still the coach there. And Art Steele was a defensive end.
Steve is in Baker to open things up. Steve, welcome into the show.
Hey, guys. My concern is with Ogeron being fired and not knowing who your new coach is going to be, how is this going to affect the recruits who committed to LSU for 2022? Are we going to lose some of them? We going to lose some of the players from the transfer portal? That's what I'm concerned about.
Steve, that's what everybody's concerned about.
Let me ask you this, because I want to ask this everybody who calls in tonight.
Yeah.
Do you honestly think that Scott Woodward has his guy right now? You and I could speculate. Charlie and I could speculate. Nobody knows. Scott Woodward knows right now as he's leaving Tiger Stadium and he's driving home or wherever he's going to do. I really believe that Scott Woodward has his guy. And we could sit here all night long and speculate.
I agree with you.
I think he has done such an unbelievable job bringing in Jimbo Fisher, bringing in Kim Mulkey, Peterson from Boise to Washington. I think that guy is laughing at us as we try to speculate. I think he's got his guy. No matter what a coach says after losing to Oklahoma State, no matter what all of these people say, I think Scott Woodward has a track record where he knows who he's got.
Oh, I agree with you 100%. I mean, look what he did to Kim Mulkey. I mean, she wins national championships. He lassos her into LSU. Guarantee you're right. He knows who he wants.
And when Vargas stepped down and was forced out, the next day they hire Mulkey. Well, she has a press conference. When you do that kind of quick turnaround, that man has his ducks lined up. He knows what he's doing. He's probably sitting back with a three-finger crown and enjoying the conversation.
Thank you, Steve. Appreciate the call. No, he looked very – I walked right by him and talked to him for 4 seconds tonight at the stadium, and he did look extremely relaxed and amazingly didn't so, Scott, who are you going to hire? And he didn't want to answer me.
But
you would understand why, right?
So, we could sit here, and the thing about it is, it's like even we don't know, and so much money and so much is invested now with TAF fees and everything. The average LSU fan out there, there's been athletic directors LSU's had, right?
Yeah.
Interim, full-time, who have done. I remember Gil Brandt saying with the Cowboys, hire Curley and don't look back. All the things that have been said, all the decisions being made by athletic directors over the years, they're bringing the next LSU football coach who's going to build the program and lead it to where it has never been. How many times have you and I heard that?
Oh, every time they hire somebody. You think that.
And when you got 3 different coaches over the last 8 – look, this is a breeding ground for great talent, and Scott Woodward is a guy, he's the ultimate pro, he's a professional. When you talk about a track record, that guy has a perfect track record when it comes to hiring coaches. It doesn't matter if it's a female coach basketball, doesn't matter if it's a football coach. The guy knows what he's doing.
499-9898 is the number. Monique's in Baton Rouge. Monique, welcome into the show.
Hello, gentlemen. How are y'all today?
Good, Monique.
Monique, how are you?
You know what? I am feeling like an LSU Tiger winner. I went to the stadium. I felt the energy. I felt like all the wins that we had over all the years really just combined themselves into this game. I'm really excited that the players came out and did their best. And I don't think they just did it for the coach. I think they did it for us. I think they did it for themselves. Because at the end of the day, what happens is they have to think about their future too. They did a great job. The fans, the diehards, stayed to the end. They were supportive, and I'm glad that we got to go out with this bang. I feel the same way that you guys feel about what's been happening to us now. We have all our ducks in a row when it comes to our players and our recruitment, but we're losing our coach. And so who's going to come in and do what it is that we need to do? And my answer is the same as y'all. We don't know. So once again, we have to trust in the higher power and then the powers that be to do the right thing by a great university.
Hey, Monique, don't you agree that when you go to bed tonight, whoever the next coach is going to be, if they name him next week, 2 weeks from tonight, whenever it is, that it's going to be a good hire?
You know what? I do agree with you because we're going to have to comb through everybody to ensure that they're going to do better than what we had. Now, Richard, please understand there is a gap in age difference between us. So I have not had the history of coaches that you've had, but I do remember Curly Hallman and all the way down. And we have gone through some things. And the one thing I can say is we are a very diverse university. We are very resilient, and we always bounce back. So with the right leader in place, we will be able to shake back from this and move forward. I thank Coach for everything. Everything he's done on field, off field. Like I said, from where I'm from, there's 3 guys that went to the NFL, and I spoke with one of him. Right. And he said the one thing he liked about Coach is that he was accessible. There's a lot of coaches that were not accessible to us. So I am praying that whoever the next coach is, that he will have the great leadership to understand that we are a state in Louisiana where we don't mind hugging strangers that we don't know and giving people rides that need them when they knock on your window.
Monique, thank you for the call.
Thank y'all.
I appreciate it. Robert in Baton Rouge is next. Robert, welcome into the show.
Yeah, Charlie, my question is, why do you think so many people don't think Billy Napier would be a good coach for LSU.
Oh, you want my answer to that? Because he coaches in Lafayette, which is the dumbest reason to not hire a coach that I've ever heard. If you don't think he's experienced enough or dynamic enough or whatever, but because he had success at a school that's, down the road, that there's been a combative relationship with at times over the years, that's a really dumb reason, okay?
But Charlie, he's coached for Nick Saban. He's coached for Dabo Swinney.
Robert, you asked me a question. I answered it, okay? There are people that, and I'm sitting right across from one of them, it says you can't hire the coach from UL Lafayette. And I think if you say you can't hire the coach from UL Lafayette because he's the coach at UL Lafayette, I think that's a really bad reason. Now, if you say because LSU feels like that would be beneath. There are some LSU fans feel like that would be beneath them.
He knows every high school coach in Louisiana.
Robert, I don't agree with that line of thinking. Okay, let me be very clear. But he's on my list of potential coaches. And I think he's a little bit further down the line with Florida, but. The idea that you shouldn't hire him because of that, okay? Come up with a better reason. Say, hey, they struggled today in a game against UL Monroe, okay, which is also a bad reason for one game. But I think that's a bad reason. But that's a lot of people's reason. And Richard, you and I disagreed on this a few weeks ago.
Now, you know what? You're a lot smarter than I. So here's my question. No, not you, Charlie. I'm talking about that Charlie.
I know, Richard. Okay.
Hey, Charlie. Call, brother. Look, Joe, here's my point. I don't know how to get this information. How much money did LSU have to come up with to pay OR?
$17 million, right? Just under $17 million.
How much money did LSU have already set aside for that day, a rainy day fund, compared to going outside of the program and securing those dollars to say, all right, fine. Now we can.
I'm not privy to the
so
checking account.
So my point is, whoever those guys are, right?
Yeah, right.
I can go down the names, and you know them as well as I do.
I do.
No, I'll give you this much money, but not to go to Lafayette. Right. I'm not saying it's right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying from an image. If I'm going to give you all of this, I need something bigger. I need a gold star you put on a kindergartner's forehead.
I don't.
That's all I'm saying.
And I don't disagree with that. Okay, but I would tell those people who are a million times richer than me on my best day and their worst, that's a really bad reason to not hire a football coach.
But it's reality, Joe.
It is. I don't.
And look, can I salute somebody right now? I don't know the number, though. I'm letting you know right now. I don't know how many of them I'm saluting, but I'm going to tell you who I'm saluting.
Who's that?
All I know is LSU football players who sucked it out the entire season, who decided, I got a little ache. I got a little nagging injury. My pediatrician or my orthopedic surgeon or my GP said, you're good. You can play it out. Oh, no, I'm not going to play it out because look at the name on my jersey and look at what my daddy's telling me and who I could be down the road. All of those LSU football players who've been banged up all season long, who could have took that damn football and went home, and the little babies on a purple and gold bus go whine, whine, whine. That's who I want to salute, Charlie. Because you know what? You don't know what Damone Clark was going through. You don't know what Jack Best was going through. Those guys could have easily said, no, I don't want to be a part of this anymore. Guys, you know what? It doesn't look good. It looks like we may not have a winning season, and we won't be in a postseason, i.e. Ricks. Whatever, man. To those guys who showed up tonight, who could have called it quits for whatever reason, but they didn't do it. That is my MVP. So don't even ask me at the end of the night. Whoever those guys were who showed up tonight and wore the jock and played for their state university and themselves and their family and for the ticket holders, those guys are my MVP tonight. Don't be run down that list, Charlie. Stingley. I can go down that list.
Back after this, Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
Expect a whole lot more for your trade during Trade-a-thon, going on exclusively at Supreme Chevrolet in Gonzales and Supreme Chevrolet West in Plaquemine. For a limited time only, Supreme will give you our absolute top dollar for your trade. Plus, save big on all the Supreme Chevrolet values. For all the incredible Trade-a-thon details, please visit mynextchevy.com or find new roads to Supreme Chevrolet in Gonzales and Supreme Chevrolet West in Plaquemine, where you can always expect more.
This month, AccuTemp is giving back by offering their friends and family discount, which means you'll get savings of over $4,000 on new AC installs. Call AccuTemp to get your new AC for as low as $80 a month.
So keep dreaming. We've got your back.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, the place that's going to be convenient for you during an inconvenient time. Look, you hear me talk about my 4 boys all the time, and sometimes things like stitches, well, they happen. And in fact, they have. And Patient Plus is always taking care of us, just like they'll do the same for you. And now with 7 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m., 7 days a week. And also at patientplusuc.com, you can sign up for your appointment on the way to the clinic. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Quality pre-owned vehicle. Tackle a great deal on Louisiana's largest selection from Louisiana's #1 choice, Service Chevrolet Cadillac, 1212 Ambassador Caffrey near I-10. Stop by or log on at servicegm.com. Chevy, find new roads. Claims based on current GM data.
Brandon Holly here. Siding, windows, even doors. ReliefWindows.com.
98.1 WDGO and HD1 Baton Rouge.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
Offices in Baton Rouge.
98.1 WDGO and HD1 Baton Rouge. Eagle 98.1.
Eagle 98.1 game day. LSU wins it tonight, 27-24. Touchdown pass to Jeray Jenkins from Max Johnson with 20 seconds to go on the clock. 499-9898 is the number to call. Chad's in Lafayette. Chad, welcome into the show.
Hey, gentlemen. How y'all doing?
All right. Chad.
Hey, man.
Rich, I'm about.
Man, I wanted to know what he was about. Put him on hold. Sound like his cell phone cut out. Let's try Jake in Opelousas. Jake, welcome into the show.
Hello, gentlemen. How y'all doing this evening?
Good, Jake.
Hey, Jake.
Before I get to my question, I just wanted to say to Coach O, thank you for the memories. Thank you for everything you've done for this university and this fan base. From one LaFouse Parish boy to another, I will always love you. Thank you very much for what you've done. My question is, now with the uncertainty of the future of the program, what kind of coach would you like to see come to Baton Rouge? Because, I mean, I'm afraid, for one reason why I'm afraid about a guy like Lincoln Riley coming, he's coming from a conference that plays no defense, number one. And number two, the kind of money that we're going to be able to throw at somebody to come here, I'm just scared of the fact that we're going to overpay for someone to come here and then be a flash in the pan. So what do you guys think?
All right, first of all, the Big 12 has sort of evolved a little bit. If you watched Oklahoma State, and I know the score got a little bit high tonight, but you had 2 muff punts inside the 5-yard line. You had a 100-yard kickoff return. They play a lot more defense than they used to. As far as overpaying the coach, the next coach will be overpaid. I don't care who it is. He'll be overpaid. You're trying to hit the market, and the market is overgrown. Coaches for years have absolutely dominated, and their agents have dominated athletic directors. There's no reason to give a coach a 10-year contract. Any coach, anywhere, any reason, because he'll never fulfill it. Because he'll do one of two things. He'll do better. He'll do better than expected, and he will get a raise. It'll be renegotiated. Or he'll do poorer than they think, and he'll be fired. Even Nick Saban. How many contracts has Nick Saban signed at Alabama? 3 or 4, maybe 5. How many of them have he had these taken from the beginning to the end? None. Okay, because he keeps exceeding expectations, he keeps getting extensions, he keeps getting raises, and he keeps tearing up the contracts and starting again. So there's no reason to put yourself on the hook for 10 years. Okay, 5 years really ought to be the thing. But they've convinced athletic directors that unless you do this, I'm going to leave. The buyouts, absolutely ridiculous. They're so one-sided. And they used to run this thing like, well, I can't recruit unless I have 5 years on my contract, which was absolutely an old wives' tale from the day they started selling it. But they sold it, okay? So that's the market now. The next LSU coach is going to be overpaid. His salary is going to be among the highest in the country, and his buyout's going to be absolutely ridiculous.
Hey, Joe, let me ask you this. So the average LSU fan, listening, driving home, just listening, go to the game, family in, the whole bit for Thanksgiving, do you think they want a head coach who's known for his offense, who can bring in a defensive coordinator, or a head coach who's known for his defense, who can bring in an offensive coordinator? I'm going to say right now that based on the offense or the lack thereof, you could call it personnel, whatever you want to do, injuries, LSU fans, whoever that next head coach is, they want his resume, his base, what he's known for, more of an offensive guy, and go out there and find a defensive coordinator.
Yeah, I agree. I think there are more fans in that camp than others. I do think, though, that because there was about a 6 or 7 year stretch from the day Perilou left campus all the way until Joe Burrow got here, with the exception of the 2 Mettenberger years, that LSU over the last 20 years has gotten a little bit of a bad rap about how bad their quarterbacks have been. Over the last 20 years, Rohan Davey came here, won a conference championship, set records. Matt Malk came here, won a national championship. Jamarcus Russell was the number 1 pick in the draft. Matt Flynn won a national championship here and spent 10 years in the NFL. Mettenberger had back-to-back monster seasons, okay? And then you had Joe Burrow, who won the Heisman. I don't think it's been you get kind of bogged down in that 2008 to 2012 era and the 2014 to say 2017, and it's like LSU can never develop a quarterback. Well, I just gave you 6, okay, in the last 20 years, two of whom were the number 1 pick in the draft. So give me another school that's developing more quarterbacks. But even with that being true, I think that there are more fans who would rather have an offensive-minded coach. I just think that's the nature of the game. Al is in New Orleans. Al, welcome into the show.
Good evening, guys. How are we doing tonight?
Good. Yeah.
So I had one question. I'm glad that caller led in with asking about defense. Be it Lincoln Riley or whoever comes in to Baton Rouge for next season, do you think it would behoove them to keep Durante Jones on staff as defensive coordinator, given how his defense and pressure gave Bama fits and messed around with Zach Calzada and A&M tonight? That's my question number one. And the second question is, Rich, are you going to be on the show next season?
I don't know. I'm hoping to be allowed next season.
All right. As far as Durante Jones, here's my deal with whoever the coach is. I want him to be able to hire his entire staff. Not his entire staff except one, not his entire staff except two, not his entire staff except the not the main assistant coaches, but the analysts.
Whoever the head coach is, he's going to bring in his own defensive coordinator. You didn't see enough from this defense. I know, look, against Arkansas, played well. Against Alabama, played well. I know what they did against Florida, fine. But no coach is going to be brought in making that kind of money who doesn't know somebody a favor or doesn't want to bring his defensive coordinator along.
He's going to want to bring in his guy. Now, maybe Durante Jones is his guy.
That's a silly question. I hope that guy don't call next season.
No, that's not a bad question at all. It's not.
So they're not going to keep the defensive coordinator at LSU. They're not.
Let me tell you why it's not a bad question. No, I don't think they'll keep Durante Jones either. But
Corey Raymond?
I don't.
Mickey Joseph?
See, this is where the problem is, and this is why it's a good call. You tell the next head coach, hey, you can come in here, but you got to keep this coach or that coach. I don't care how accomplished they are. We have seen that backfire so many times. If the new head coach
So you agree with me? You can't do that.
Yes, you absolutely cannot do that.
Exactly.
Well, I think it's a mistake, okay? And you need to be able to bring in your own, not only just your own coordinator,
Well, that's what that knucklehead suggested.
No, he asked if the new guy would keep Durante Jones.
Yeah, but he wanted that. I got the impression he wanted that.
I didn't get the impression
he said, do you think they would? Which means he's in favor of it.
Okay, the way I heard it was, do you think they're going to make him keep that guy?
And by the way, I just got a confirmation. I am on next year.
You are?
Just got it.
Okay.
I'll be with you next year. You going to be with me?
Good Lord willing.
Same here.
I'll be here. 499-9898 is the number. Eagle 98.1 game day.
To the people of Louisiana, we at Buick GMC and our dealers are here to stand with you. We know the importance of keeping in touch with loved ones, so impacted owners can push the OnStar button and get it.
OC Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of OC Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Service Master Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person, connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli? I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Front to Back Boat Service has been family owned and operated for 30 years. And the Sherman family is NMEA certified. That's the National Marine Electronics Association at Front to Back. They are committed to improving the safety and technology of marine electronics through installer training, interface standards. And look, the fall and the winter, it's the perfect time to do that yearly maintenance you've been putting off. Get those parts you've been wanting. So schedule your appointment today at Front to Back, North Airway off of Airline Highway.
Eagle 98.1 Game Day continues. 499-9898 is the number. I did have one more name thrown at me during the break, which was a name that came up a week and a half ago, which was Bill O'Brien, the offensive coordinator at Alabama. That was Reese Davis brought that name up. What do I think that the reaction would be? I think the reaction would be colossal disappointment from the fan base, if you're asking what I think the reaction to that would be, which was a question I got during the break. So I answered that. Freight is in Texas. Nope. Jim is in Baton Rouge. Jim, welcome into the show.
Evening, gentlemen.
How you doing?
You too, Richard.
Hey, Jim.
That was funny.
First-time caller, but I have spoken with Richard in the past. I got a 10-pound box of sausage off of him once. Anyway,
no, you got me confused with some other guy.
Man define. Anyway, look, I want to know what you guys think about what's tougher, trying to fill this position or what Alabama's going to have to deal with when Saban leaves, or like Duke trying to fill Coach K's spot. I mean, real dynasty things. What's a tougher job?
Wait. You can compare losing Ogeron to Krzyzewski or Saban?
No, I'm asking which is a harder position to be in to fill that job.
To take over for a legend, or to take over from a coach that was fired? Is that what you're asking?
Or maybe it's harder
to take over for a legend. You know, the old saying is, you don't want to be the guy that replaces a guy. You want to replace the guy that replaced the guy. And, you know, North Carolina, who had to replace Roy Williams, you know, did so from within their family. Duke did largely the same thing. Alabama struggled with that when Bryant passed away, and they brought one of their own back in Ray Perkins, and they brought him back from the NFL. Okay, when to go back from the NFL to college football was unheard of, but Perkins did.
But wouldn't you agree nobody's ever done a better job replacing a legend of a program? And I know it wasn't consecutive, like he followed up Paul Bear Bryant, but it's got to be Saban. All programs.
Saban following.
Just a whole bit where when Paul Bear Bryant, when he died, after LSU beat him in 82 and he died in January, no coach at any other program, no matter the sport, has done a better job making that fan base forget the legendary coach, because now he has succeeded everything he accomplished.
Yeah, but there was 25. There was a 25-year gap.
John Wooden, give me one. Skip Bertman, I mean, give me one.
Well, I would tell you that Barry Switzer followed up Bud Wilkerson, did a pretty good job at Oklahoma. I'd give you Tom Osborne did a pretty good job, following Bob Devaney at Nebraska. I just make you mad, don't I, when I come up with answers to your questions? Those were my picks.
But still, I think you know where I'm going.
I do. Look. We're talking about the two most successful coaches in college football history. So, yeah. But it's really tough, okay, to replace a guy that's been uber successful for a very long time is tough. Okay. You look at, let's look at some more recent examples. It was Florida had a hell of a time replacing Spurrier, and they went through multiple coaches, and then they got Urban Meyer, and now they've gone through multiple coaches again, trying to replace him. Even Ohio State, who when they got rid of Jim Tressel, had the 1 year with Luke Fickell where they went 6-6. It's a really, really tough thing. Texas has been trying to replace Darryl Royal for 40 years. It's very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. 499-9898 is the number. We got, hang on, let's see. Stephen and Crowley. Stephen, welcome to the show.
Hi, guys. Thank y'all again for taking my call and keeping me awake on the drive back to D-Town. Another season in the books. Want to thank you guys for your candor and telling it like it is. We appreciate it. So I have 4 short questions. There was some calls in the game I couldn't really see from the stands. There was one where Johnson got sacked, and it looked like the D lineman tried to pull his head off by the face mask, and there was no call on that one. There was a block in the back that looked pretty blatant on one of their scoring drives that didn't get called. And then when Jack Besh was going into the end zone on the catch, it looked like the guy tackled him. It's hard for me to tell from my vantage point if those were good calls, missed calls. And to see if you can comment on that. And the last thing is Jimbo Fisher the most overrated coach in college football?
Hey, there you go. There's a name that won't go away. Jimbo Fisher.
If you think I'm going to comment on that, Charlie, you're crazy. Because I know you're going to come up with something. You're setting me up. I say Jimbo Fisher.
I'm not.
Then you're going to go back to like Cornell in the early 1900s. I know you.
I wouldn't do that. I didn't have a great vantage point on the two of the plays you're talking about. I did say to somebody who I know from A&M that told me that Jeray Jenkins pushed off on the touchdown pass at the end. I said, okay, well that makes up for the 16 bad calls in the 7 overtime game that we had back in 2018. So we're good.
You know what? That call on you does something that I don't do. When it's like a big game and you don't know who the next head coach is going to be and Ogeron's last game and all of that, and you're not in the midst of maybe playing for a conference title or whatever, individual plays at this point of the year, I'm not worried about.
No, probably not.
You see where I'm going in the grand scheme of things? No, don't get me wrong. If they were playing Florida and they got to win this win and they got to compete for a title in this, yeah, I'm going, man, we got holes there. We shouldn't have had that call. At this point of the year, I'm not watching an LSU game going, man, the officials missed that one.
You know, you're exactly right, Richard. And I'm going to give you a great...
No, you're just doing that to patronize me.
No, I'm not. I'm going to give you an example.
Oh, no, I know you are.
Of how you're correct.
You're like, you know what? You're like John Boy in the Waltons. You're bringing up your Red Chief tablet.
We did.
You're doing this. Well, nope. I'll tell you one thing. Got a couple of examples
out of my head.
You're killing me, Hanny.
Capital One Bowl. Okay, LSU loses on the last play of the game.
Right.
The Hail Mary
Muddy
to
field,
Drew
the whole
Tate.
bit.
Yeah,
Okay.
we did the post game.
So
that
I
day.
did get the weather right that day.
Yeah, you did.
Okay, good. Thank you.
We didn't take one call in that post game on the Hail Mary or the coverage breakdown.
Nobody cares at this point.
Because it was
nobody cares.
Because at that point it had broken that Miles was going to be the new coach, and that's all anybody wanted to talk about was the new coach. But if that play had happened against Auburn. Or
if the
Florida
season was
Alabama.
meaningful at that time and you needed to win the game to compete to play in the New Year's Bowl game or to competing to win that side of the conference.
I'm agreeing with you.
Oh, you're just doing it.
I'm not. I'm
There
not.
you are.
I came up with an example. If I was patronizing you, I'd just say, yeah, Richard, you're right, and I'd move on. See, when I give you an example like that, it means...
Oh, your fans love you today, Charlie.
I want a little hug,
Yeah.
man. 2
bits, 4 bits, all for Hanny.
Jules in Abbeville is next. Jules, welcome to the show.
See, I think Tom Osborne followed Bob Devaney at Nebraska.
That's what I said.
Well, I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
And I think in between Switzer and Bud Wilkinson was at least Chuck Fairbanks and maybe somebody else. But anyway,
forgot about Chuck Fairbanks.
That's okay.
Didn't he coach the Bills?
The Bill, yeah.
Uh-huh.
He coached in
You
the
need to study
NFL. I
up,
don't
dude.
remember who. Let me say, I think the highlight of the postseason, and if Condon's coming back, which he said the highlight of the post-game season was when that caller and Richard got into it about hospice care, and the guy said, "F you, Condon." That cracked me up. But anyway.
Yeah, that was a funny dude.
and you came back with
whatever,
screw you.
Yeah, well, the FCC got us for that too, so we sent us a little invoice.
And it's even on. I picked it up and I streamed the broadcast. So
there were 3 coaches between Wilkerson and Switzer. I'd forgotten that. Okay, happened before I was born, so cut me some slack.
Well, some of it was when I was born, so I can be forgiven for that. Okay, Charlie, your rankings. Let's see. I bet you got Georgia, Michigan, Oklahoma State, and do you put Notre Dame in front of Cincinnati, even though they beat them?
Okay, if I got to make rankings, I put Cincinnati in front of Notre Dame because they beat them. But if they played this weekend, again, if Cincinnati and Notre Dame were playing this weekend on a neutral field, I would take Notre Dame. Okay.
I know you would, Charlie. And last week you would have said, if Ohio State and Michigan are playing today, I'll take Ohio State.
I would have, yeah.
Right,
absolutely.
So that's
things change.
Not a reason to keep Cincinnati out.
It's not.
Because you think of something.
Right.
We all think of something. They deserve to be in there over Notre Dame because they beat Notre Dame in South Bend.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
So you'll have them in there at 4, but can't wait to push them out for somebody else.
I don't think Cincinnati is one of the top 4 teams in the country, but they're one of the 4 most deserving teams in the country, if that makes any sense. I watched them kind of slog around for about the last 4 weeks against mediocre competition. It took them a little while to shake East Carolina on Friday. I'm not over the moon about them. They're good. But do I think I would take Oklahoma State on a neutral field over them right now? There's a lot of teams I'd take over them on a neutral field. But most deserving, yeah, I got no problem with that. Fairbanks goes to Patriots.
And I think that's what it needs to come down to is they ran the table and all of these other teams didn't. We can all say we think this and that, but that's why they play the game. So.
San Antonio didn't get to the end undefeated. They got drilled today.
They got
North Texas drilled them today.
And one last thing, when you watch the basketball replay, Alex Fudge, I told you this morning.
Had a great game. I saw that.
He needs more minutes.
I saw the box score.
More minutes and less from Wilkinson.
Okay. Thank you,
Joseph.
Appreciate it.
Hey, Charlie, you looking forward to the 14 playoff? I'm not.
Why?
Alabama's going to be out. I like the chalk. It's like the Final Four. I want the Blue Bloods.
You can't.
Alabama's going to be out. Ohio State's out. Clemson's out. So I really have no read. Georgia. All right, fine. So now Georgia goes undefeated in the regular season for the first time since '82. When Herschel Walker was what, a junior, senior? I think a senior.
He was a junior. He came out after his junior year.
Well, shouldn't you know? So this whole bit about the 14 playoffs, Cincinnati's in, don't care. Well, Michigan's in, don't care.
Wait a minute. You wanted to see Ohio State?
Yeah.
Did you watch Michigan and Ohio State today?
No, I'm not worried about all of that.
Michigan beat them within an inch of their life, and they're a blue blood. They won more games than any school in the history of
seeing
college
the chalk programs in the Final Four. You know what I want? When it comes to the College World Series, I don't want those little bitty teams in there. I want the premier programs. I want the LSUs. I want the A&Ms, old school. I want the Wichita States. I want the Miamis. I want the USCs. That's who I want.
Michigan's not a blue blood program?
Not under Jim Harbaugh. They lost that.
Yeah, but they won today.
I understand.
I mean, they beat everybody but Michigan State.
I know they ended their 8-game losing streak against Ohio State. I get it. First time Michigan's beaten Ohio State when Harbaugh's been the coach. And they thumped them pretty
good, man. They thumped them pretty good.
You know, why do I have to sit here now and feel like I got to come up with stuff to prove to you that I do follow stuff not as good as you? But I don't think there's anybody in East Baton Rouge Parish alive, really don't, that knows more than Hanegraaff. And I'm admitting that right now.
That's very nice of you to say, Rich.
No, forget about being nice. I'm just telling you, for all you little loyal call-in people who love you and they don't like me because I don't have my almanac in my butt.
Don't be ridiculous, Richard. Everybody loves me. 499-9898 is the number to call. Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
Crawler Supply Company would like to thank you for your support over the years. We are happy to announce that we are officially your full-line New Holland agriculture dealer. Give us a call at 225-357-7515. Crawler Supply Company in New Holland, your partners in the agriculture industry.
The Sterling Automotive Group is all about selection, service, and savings. You can always find a great deal of...
All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. And now 0% for 60 months on Ford F-150s. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law offices of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
Tonight, we invite you to celebrate life, wherever and whenever you can, understanding that time is never on our side. Instead, gather up your friends tonight and share a few stories and laughs over a good bottle of wine. Or maybe a family meal that gives everyone a chance to reconnect and remember what's really important, whether it's for a birthday, an anniversary, or simply to remind someone special that they are loved. Rafino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, the place that's going to be convenient for you during an inconvenient time. Look, you hear me talk about my 4 boys all the time, and sometimes things like stitches, well, they happen. And in fact, they have. And Patient Plus is always taking care of us, just like they'll do the same for you. And now with 7 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m., 7 days a week. And also at PatientPlusUC.com, you can sign up for your appointment on the way to the clinic. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Eagle 98.1 game day continues. LSU wins it 27-24. Brandon is in Lafayette. Brandon, welcome into the show.
Hey, gentlemen, how's it going?
Good.
Yeah, I was going to just talk back about the new coach coming in. Y'all saying you don't think he's going to keep the coaches on staff, but I mean, how do you get rid of Corey Raymond, who's had DBU going for the last couple of years. I mean, how do you not keep Corey Raymond? And I'll just listen, guys. Thank y'all for what y'all do.
Brandon, if the new coach wants to keep Corey Raymond, I'm all for it, okay? Corey Raymond's been here a long time. He's done a great job. I mean, the list of players that he's coached is long. I just want it to be the new coach's decision. I don't like it when new coaches come in and say, okay, you can have the job and you can run exactly your way except for this, this, and this. And I've seen that happen too many times. So if the new coach comes in, looks at Corey Raymond and says what you just said and says, I want the guy on my staff, then I'm all for it. I don't want it to be a prerequisite. And that's everybody on the staff. That's just my 2 cents on it.
You know, you and I talked about it during the break. I mean, whoever the new coach is and the money they're going to pay him, they got to let him do whatever he wants. But I do agree with the caller. Because you look at all the money people in the NFL and the people who come back to the games and the Patrick Petersons and the Tyrann Matthews, and the list goes on and on and on. I think that coach would realize, as he mentioned, it is DBU, and I think Corey Raymond would be a guy where if I'm the new coach, I know the benefit. I know the PR standpoint. I know the former players and how much respect and what they do as far as promoting LSU and its brand and getting kids to come here. I agree with him. I would, but still, when it's this big of a program and you're going to pay whatever kind of money they're going to pay, you know, $10 million, $11, $12 million a year, whatever it is. But, man, I agree with him. I think Corey Raymond, I think as the new coach, Charlie, you'd be kind of foolish not to give him a strong look, understanding what he means to the program, who played for him, who he recruited, and now how they still represent LSU's brand in the NFL.
And I'm all for that. And here's something else you got to think about when it comes to all of the coaches on this staff. You're going to turn over, 22 jobs, I think, in D1? Well, what if there's another job for him? What if there's a coordinator's job somewhere? What if he says, you know what, new coach coming in, it's time for me to move on and to go somewhere else?
Because you don't know what Corey Raymond's thinking.
I don't
know his family situation. He may be saying, you know what, I want a new outlook.
Yeah.
I want a new challenge. I want to go somewhere else. And
somebody gives him a defensive coordinator job. You know, you take a promotion. Could happen. Micah in Baton Rouge. Micah, welcome into the show.
Hey, how y'all doing tonight?
Good.
This is my first time calling. Sorry, I got a head cold, so my voice is probably hard to hear. But I got 2 questions for you. One, do you think tonight probably hurt Jimbo Fisher's chances of really being a competitor for being crowned the head coach of LSU? And 2, who would you rather prefer come to LSU, Dave Aranda or Lincoln Riley, with the defensive mindset and an offensive mindset?
All right, thanks for the call. Jimbo Fisher seems to have settled in at A&M, and so I don't think he's going anywhere. I do think that he's going to have to answer the entire offseason as he did after the first 2 offseasons. When you are paid that much money, and he got the first contract of that size. There's been other contracts of that size since then, but he got the first, and it was attached to everything that he did from the day he got there. And it might not be fair, but that's what happened. It's the same thing with A-Rod. All right, A-Rod got the first $250 million or $300 million contract in baseball, and every time he struck out, it was $300 million, and A-Rod struck out, with somebody on base. Every time Jimbo Fisher, makes a mistake, and he made some mistakes tonight. That Richard brought it up earlier. That second to last drive, that was a dumb call. Okay, really dumb call, and it's going to be Jimbo Fisher, who makes now $95 million on his contract, made a really dumb call. It gets attached to everything that he does. But, for $95 million, Richard, call me whatever you want. Okay. Now, if you offensive mind, defensive coach, we kind of talked about this a little bit earlier, but Riley versus Aranda, if they're still on the board at this point.
I mean, you look at some of the numbers that Aranda's offense put up this year. Pretty impressive. From a defensive standard guy who comes from LSU, who's the defensive coordinator, takes over there. I mean, they put up some good numbers. Put up some good numbers today.
And by the way,
in a win,
they're playing for the Big 12 championship, and Oklahoma's not.
You go from 2-7 to 10-2.
Yeah.
In Waco, and you're playing for the Big 12 title. Man, that's impressive.
No, the guy's an excellent coach, and the only real knock that you've got on him is how good of a closer would he be in recruiting? We got a small track record on that. He wasn't a dynamic recruiter when he was here. I think that he would adjust. and I think that he would improve in that area. Daryl is in Shreveport. Daryl, welcome into the show.
Thanks for taking my call, Charlie.
Sure.
I have a two-part question, and you just give me your answer. I keep hearing from people that I talk to that Scott Woodward just has no desire at all to think about Lane Kiffin. And the other part of the question is, is that accurate? And the other part of the question is, do you know whether or not he has contacted Dabo Swinney's agent?
Okay. Thank you for the call. Lane Kiffin's name has not come up since the very, very, very beginning of this coaching search. Lane Kiffin, boy, you bring a lot to the table, good and bad. There's an offensively innovative coach that has been at the cutting edge of a lot of different concepts, and he's been very successful with that part of it. Kiffin has run into his problems. The departure from Tennessee was messy. The departure from USC was messy. The departure from Alabama was messy. So you deal with that, and Kiffin's got an edge to him. I don't know if they want to deal with that edge, okay, for lack of a better word, okay. Now, has Kiffin been accused of any recruiting violations or arrested or had any problem? No, none of that stuff. But you get, I'm gonna call shenanigans. You get some shenanigans with Lane Kiffin. You're gonna score a bunch of points. You score a bunch of points. But I don't think we have not heard Kiffin's name since early in the search. Where would you be on him?
I think from a PR standpoint, and everybody can break down the Title IX under O, the woman saying she talked to O because of Darius Geis, and then O backs Kiffin. I think LSU's just got to stay away from that. Fair or unfair? I understand the guy's an offensive-minded guy, but from a PR standpoint right now, I just don't think LSU is in a position where they can bring in a guy in Lane Kiffin, like you mentioned, USC, tennis, the whole bit, Lane Kiffin doing crazy things on Twitter. I just don't think that's the image Scott Woodward wants for the program right now. That's too much he's got to deal with behind the scenes. If it's basketball, if it's a Title IX stuff, if it's about how females on campus wasn't taken seriously when they said this player did that. And like you said, Lane Kiffin's never done any of that, but still there's a lot of shadows that follow Lane Kiffin from years ago. I just don't think LSU's to a point right now from a PR standpoint, knowing why O is not coming back. Fair speculation, accurate info based on who you talk to. I don't think LSU can take a shot at a Lane Kiffin right now. It's just not good for the image of the program.
But from a football standpoint,
oh, no question.
Yeah, you would get that offensive juggernaut, philosophy, and then you say, here's all the money that we have. Go out and hire whatever defensive coordinator you want from a football standpoint, and then you have to tell him behave. Okay.
Well, you know what, Charlie? All the stuff Ed's been accused of pointing a finger, fair, unfair, girl, whatever. It's irrelevant. Scott Woodward now with this next hire. You know darn well the background check's got to be solid.
Does.
He's got to talk to everybody going, all right, what do I need to know that maybe I don't know? There's too much on the line right now with this program. It's got to be spotty clean, and that's the way it's got to be going in, coming off of what happened. Fair or unfair to O, okay? Fair or unfair, because you and I will never know the true story with everything. We just won't.
As far as Dabo Swinney, I'm sure Woodward made an obligatory call, but there are certain coaches that I think are untouchable.
Is Dabo just waiting to go to Alabama?
I don't think so.
He doesn't even want that pressure.
Why would you
want to replace Nick Saban?
The
ACC, who do I have to worry about?
Clemson is of him.
Yeah, the ACC, who I got to worry about?
Yeah, at Alabama, you got to walk past multiple statues to get to your office in the morning. No thanks. I mean, if I'm him.
What? You got Wake Forest playing in the ACC title game for the first time since 2006?
Hey, Dave Clawson got a big contract extension today.
You knew it was 2006 for the Demons, right?
I didn't.
Last time they won the title?
I didn't. See?
Yeah, what are your friends saying?
I don't know.
I bet your buddies already went to bed.
Bill's in Covington. Bill, welcome into the show.
Hey, I want to throw one name out that I hadn't heard about the coaching search, and that's Brian Kelly from Notre Dame. What do you think his chances are of if they didn't make the playoffs this year, he might just throw his hands up and go, I got to go someplace where I can get to a championship game and win it and then go to the playoffs.
All right, this is interesting. Okay, because if we were looking for an outside the list name that would make sense. Okay, a guy who had accomplished enough and would still, actively take a look at this job versus the one they've got. Brian Kelly would be one of them, and I think that they're out of the playoff right now, but that might not be the case. In a week or so, you could probably top Notre Dame's what they're giving him now. Would they match? He's 50. No, he's 60. He just turned 60, and I mean, the record's pretty good. He's won everywhere he's been.
Bill Onsbarger left when he turned 60 because he didn't want to do it anymore. He didn't want the stress, the whole bit. He just went to the office at Florida, became the athletic director.
Yeah.
You just can't. Look, I'm 61. I feel pretty good at 61, but I don't know if I can endure all of that. At 60, Charlie, you're bringing a guy who's 60. 60 today, it's not 60, 30, or 40 years ago.
And it's not. And you look at Saban at 70. Okay, are you a young 60 or are you an old 60? Kelly looks like a fairly young 60 to me. The last 5 years, 10 wins, 12 wins, 11 wins, 10 wins, 11 wins this year with a chance to get into the playoffs. That's as good as you can. That's as good as you're going to do.
But Notre Dame's an independent. Does he want the problems and the headaches of going against what he's got to go against week in and week out in the SEC? He doesn't want that. Well, why would you? You're Notre Dame. You get anybody you want for the most part.
Well, he also might say that if I go 11-1 and I can't get into the playoff, well, I'm going to go.
Whose fault's that?
Well, if they'd have been 12-0, they would have been in the playoff. But there is a little bit more of a margin for error in the Southeastern Conference, and 11-1 SEC champions going to the playoff automatically. I mean, almost automatically.
You know what, Charlie? I mean, if you're in the SEC, you one of, 4 great programs. What is great now in the SEC? LSU, Alabama,
LSU, and Georgia, the top.
Pretty much right now.
That's the top of the list.
But at Notre Dame, you're always number one.
And look,
you can have the biggest fan base across the country.
And LSU's 2 years removed from that. Listen, I can't poke too many holes in Kelly's resume. I can't. Would he be my first choice? Probably not.
You know who my first choice was from day one?
It was Luke Fickell, right? Yeah, and they're trying to get into that playoff. I just don't think the timing works out.
Man,
the
guy's well spoken. What is he, like 48?
Great, 40, yeah.
Great family guy. Yeah. Great family guy. No negative. He's a good interview. He's great with recruits.
This is going to sound crazy, but Luke Fickell might have been a more realistic candidate here if they had lost one of these last 3 or 4 games than by winning it. But he's sort of the poster child for every Group of 5 school out there. This is the guy that took a school that got a Group of 5 team into the playoff. He just can't leave next week. I mean, he just can't. And from what I hear, he's not over the moon about coaching.
And he's pretty strong Midwest base, right?
Yes,
because he's from Ohio.
Correct. Not over the moon about moving out of the Midwest. So I don't think the timing works out for him. If it'd be a year from now, it might be a different story. We'll take a break. Come on back. We got late night football going on, Pac-12 After Dark, and we'll give you the stats from tonight's game as well as a scoreboard on a wild day in college football. This is Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
Hey, Louisiana, Deuce McAllister here. I've held many titles in my life. Saints Hall of Famer, Cullen commentator, and Super Bowl champ. But the one title that seems the most important these days is vaccinated. I got my COVID-19 shot because I'm ready to get back to normal and get back in the game. The more people who get the shot, the sooner we can get back to things we love with the people we love, especially football at the Dome. That's why I joined forces with the Saints and Blue Cross Blue Shield of Louisiana to recruit you to join our team and get the vaccine. And the stats are on our side. The COVID vaccine is safe, necessary, and available to you. Take it from this old Saint. If we work together, we can beat COVID-19. So join the team and get the vaccine.
This month, AccuTemp is giving back by offering their friends and family discount, which means you'll get savings of over $4,000 on new.
We're investing in our hometowns, making life better for everyone. So keep dreaming. We've got your back.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. The place is going to be convenient for you during that inconvenient time, and it's even more convenient now. Now you have 8 convenient locations, with the Bruley location just opening up. So go check them out online, patientplusuc.com, because remember, they are your place for your sniffles, for your colds, for your stitches, for your COVID test. They have all that available over at Patient Plus. For more information, visit them at patientplusuc.com. Get in and get better.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person, connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
If home is where the heart is, a roof is a shield. That's
Eagle 98.1 Game Day Stat Check. Presented by Luba. Luba, genuine dependability.
I'm going to take a look at the yardstick from tonight's game. LSU 22 first downs, A&M 16 first downs. Total yards 412 for the Tigers, 296 for the Aggies. Passing 306 for the Tigers, 242 for Texas A&M. Rushing yards, and this is probably the most impressive stat I think tonight. LSU held Texas A&M to 54 yards on the ground on 28 carries, less than 2 yards per. Tigers 106 on 36, 2.9. Ain't great, but the rush defense was really good tonight. Clean game, 4 penalties on A&M, 28 yards, 3 on LSU for 32 yards. It was not a turnover in tonight's game. Third down efficiency, Tigers 5 out of 17, Aggies 3 out of 14. A&M made their only fourth down attempt. LSU made both of their fourth down attempts. Time possession, 32-20 for the Tigers, 27-44 Texas A&M. Individual stats tonight. Max Johnson, 22 of 38, 306 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, 8.1 yard average. He took an awful beating tonight. If there's one of the things that he's got to work on in the offseason, he's got to get rid of the ball quicker. He's just holding the ball entirely too long on some of these things. Listen, I understand that they were playing with a makeshift offensive line. They've lost so many guys up there. I think that the offensive coordinator's got to help him. They got to give him more quick throws, things to get the ball out of his hands. They got to help him there, and he's got to work on that. But the kid showed incredible toughness tonight and made the two biggest throws of the, I don't know, of the season, but I mean the throw to Besh on fourth down and then the throw to Jenkins to win the game. I mean that's money.
You know, at halftime when he had 173 yards passing and his quarterback rating was 160, I'm going, can he maintain this? He finishes at 151.
Yeah.
So the effort in, especially the game-winning drive, Charlie, because that hit he took and he got up limping.
Yeah.
You could tell he was, his head was spinning, and for him to continue to stay in the pocket and make the big throws to pull out the win, what an incredible performance.
Zach Calzada, 20 of 35, 242 yards, also 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Rushing tonight, Ty Davis-Price, 19 carries for 84 yards. Isaiah Spiller, 11 for 27 for Texas A&M. Receiving tonight, Jeray Jenkins, 8 catches, 169 yards, career high, 2 touchdowns, including the game winner. Trey Palmer, 5 catches for 64 yards and a touchdown at 61-yarder near the end of the first half. A big play for LSU. Receiving tonight, Jalen Preston for A&M, 3 catches for 57 yards, 2 touchdowns. Moose Muhammad, 2 catches for 52 yards and a score. Defensively, Damone Clark, 10 total tackles, 2.5 sacks, 3.5 total tackles for loss, 1 quarterback hurry. Antonio Johnson, 9 total tackles, 8 solos, and an assist for Texas A&M. And you're punting tonight. Atkins did not have a great night. 8 punts for 38.3 yards per, and only one of them inside the 20. Coastal, the A&M punter whose name I can't pronounce, Costanitu, 44.5 yard average. A&M was actually gaining a little bit of yards on the punt exchanges in the second half. I was worried that would eventually come back to bite LSU with the field position, but we know how the game turned out, and that is your stat check for tonight's game. LSU wins at 27-24. Scoreboard is next. Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
For over 14 years, Audi of Baton Rouge on Airline Highway has provided buyers with both an unparalleled buying and ownership experience. Every day, their goal is to create customers for life. How do they do that? By offering the best product, the best buying experience, the best ownership experience, and the best ownership value, as well as innovative services like Audi at your door or the Summer of Audi sales event. Find out more at Audi of Baton Rouge, 11955 Airline Highway or AudiBatonRouge.com.
Welcome back. We've missed you. We know it's been tough. Because rebuilding your business isn't for the faint of heart. Your business needs a jump start. And we're here to help. Introducing Surge, symmetrical speed fiber internet from eTel Business. Revved up data speeds at 30% off, plus 3 months free. We're glad.
Fall and the winter, it's the perfect time to do that yearly maintenance you've been putting off. Get those parts you've been wanting. So schedule your appointment today at Front to Back North Airway off of Airline Highway.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law offices of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm.
We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
Tonight, we invite you to celebrate life, wherever and whenever you can, understanding that time is never on our side. Instead, gather up your friends tonight and share a few stories and laughs over a good bottle of wine. Or maybe a family meal that gives everyone a chance to reconnect and remember what's really important, whether it's for a birthday, an anniversary, or simply to remind someone special that they are loved. Rufino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, the place that's going to be convenient for you during an inconvenient time. Look, you hear me talk about my four boys all the time, and sometimes things like stitches, well, they happen. And in fact, they have. And Patient Plus is always taking care of us, just like they'll do the same for you. And now with 7 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m., 7 days a week. And also at PatientPlusUC.com, you can sign up for your appointment on the way to the clinic. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that
Robinson Brothers Ford Lincoln College Football Scoreboard. Robinson Brothers Ford Lincoln, on airline into the giant American flag.
A couple games still in progress. Fourth quarter to Mausoleum. USC has just taken the lead on BYU 31-28. We got about down to 8.5 minutes to go in that one. UCLA running away from Cal 42-14. About 8 minutes to go in that game at the Rose Bowl. Earlier finals today. Number 1, Georgia puts the finishing touches on their perfect regular season. 45-0 over Georgia Tech. Stetson Bennett threw 4 touchdown passes today. First undefeated season since Walker's
82.
last year. Yeah.
In the 10th time this season, Georgia defense held an opponent to 10 or less points.
Their next stop, the SEC Championship game. Number 5, Michigan beat number 2, Ohio State 42-27. Hassan Haskins tied a Michigan record with 5 rushing touchdowns and 169 yards on the ground. And this was no fluke. This was not anything other than Michigan went out and really kind of controlled this game. They took the opening kickoff. They went for a touchdown. And honestly, they were the better team all day today. This wasn't a couple of fluke plays that Michigan won. And you know what, Richard, you'll appreciate this. You watch it in the snow, a lot of running in the game today. You know, physical football. The Ohio State, Michigan, right?
Kind of like reminded me of Bo Schembechler and Woody Hayes.
Woody Hayes, yeah.
But yeah, Michigan, man, they had lost 8 straight. Now people can stop saying Jim Harbaugh's never beaten Ohio State.
Number 3, Alabama beat Auburn 24-22 in 4 overtimes today. Rich, you got a chance. I was on my way into Tiger Stadium, so I didn't get a chance to see the overtimes. Tell me what you saw.
Man, you know, the amazing thing about it is going back and forth, Charlie, with the channel change. Watching Alabama, Auburn, LSU. You know, because the end of the game and LSU game started. But Alabama didn't score any points until there was 8:34 left to go in the game. Alabama's got to go, like a little over a minute to go. They got to go 97 yards just to send the game in overtime. And I think the difference down the stretch was the quarterback. Quarterback play.
Bryce Young threw a couple of touchdown passes, 317 yards. Number 6, Notre Dame beat Stanford 45-14. Irish finished the season at 11-1. Will that be enough to get them in the playoff? Bedlam was great tonight. Number 7, Oklahoma State beat number 10, Oklahoma 37-33. Just some wild plays in this game. There were 2 muff punts that led to touchdowns. There was a 100-yard kickoff return. There was a safety and a wild finish where Oklahoma had 2 chances in the last 2 minutes to go over and score again, but Caleb Williams was stopped both times. After the game, Lincoln Riley said, "I will not be the next LSU head coach." Believe him? We'll see. Number 8, Baylor beat Texas Tech 27-24. Dave Aranda's team with that win plus the Oklahoma State win will go to the Big 12 championship game. Baylor against Okie State. Number 11, Oregon beat Oregon State Civil War 38-29. Ducks finished 7-2 in Pac-12 play. They're headed to the Pac-12 championship game.
And the Beavers scored 20 points, Charlie, in the fourth quarter to make it look respectable. But Oregon handily beat Oregon State.
Number 12, Michigan State finishes the regular season at 10-2 with a 30-27 win over Penn State.
That's that 10-year extension, $75 million for Franklin.
I mean, for 7 and 5. I mean, it's just, you're getting good value there. And I like James Franklin as a coach, but this year went south on them about halfway through. Minnesota beat number 14 Wisconsin 23-13. It was number 17 Pitt over Syracuse 31-14. Wake Forest beat Boston College 41-10. BC had a number of players out with the flu, not the COVID, the regular flu. Wake Forest finishes 10-2. Dave Clawson gets a contract extension.
Hey, if I would have told you after Clemson lost to LSU in the national championship game, 2 seasons down the road for the ACC title, it's going to be Wake Forest taking on Pitt.
It's going to be a ratings bonanza, isn't it? Winston-Salem and in Pittsburgh for college football. Number 23, Clemson. Speaking of them, they shut out South Carolina tonight, 30-0. They finish a disappointing season, 9-3. And Shane Beamer, his first season at South Carolina, 6-6. North Texas beat number 22 UT San Antonio, 45-23. First loss of the season for the Roadrunners. Number 24, Houston beat UConn, 45-17. Cougars finish at 11-1 on the year. Florida beat Florida State 24-21. Gators bowl eligible at 6-6. Maryland beat Rutgers 40-16. It was Army over Liberty 31-16. Navy over Temple 38-14. Kent State beat Miami of Ohio 48-47. There's Maction. Toledo beat Akron 49-14. It was Miami over Duke 47-10. We'll see if this is the end if David Cutcliffe decides to retire, as has been rumored there. Rice beat Louisiana Tech 35-31. Tech finishes 3-9. Skip Holtz will be moving on from Ruston. Old Dominion beat Charlotte 56-34. Texas State over Arkansas State 24-22. Georgia State over Troy 37-10. App State over Georgia Southern 27-3. Southern Miss over Florida International 37-17. I think there was 3 straight for Southern Miss without a quarterback. They were out of scholarship quarterbacks. They just went Wildcat the rest of the season.
I trust you on that one, Charlie.
New Mexico State beat UMass 44-27. It was Hawaii over Wyoming 38-14. Western Kentucky over Marshall 53-21. Illinois beat Northwestern 47-14. Purdue over Indiana 44-7. And what do they take home for beating Indiana?
The axe.
No. Try again.
The barrel.
Try again.
The 2-liter.
Come on.
Come on, Hanny.
The bucket.
Oh, good.
The old Oaken bucket.
Go home with the bucket. Enjoy yourself.
Somewhere Gordy Rush is celebrating.
Worrying about the damn bucket.
Tennessee beat Vandy 45-21. It was Virginia Tech over Virginia 29-24. Tulsa over SMU 34-31. UL Lafayette beat UL Monroe 21-14. Billy Napier's group going to the Sun Belt Championship game that will be at Cajun Field. Although there are some reports, Ross Dellinger from Sports Illustrated reporting that Florida could have a deal done with Billy Napier very soon and allow Napier to coach in the Sun Belt Championship game. So we'll see what happens there. Arizona State beat Arizona 38-15. It was Middle Tennessee over Florida Atlantic 27-17. West Virginia beat Kansas 34-28. Kentucky over Louisville 52-21. And let's see, Memphis beat Tulane 33-28. Nevada over Colorado State 52-10. And LSU basketball beat Wake Forest 75-61 in the Emerald Coast Classic. I know you got a note on the Emerald Coast. This is the first time.
First holiday classic LSU's won since John Brady was the coach.
And what was that one?
It was a holiday classic.
It was a holiday classic?
Right before Christmas.
Right before.
People were getting trees, putting them on the top of the SUV.
A little bit of, a little bit of stuffing, a little bit of dressing.
Isn't Will Wade's birthday today? I think it may be.
I would have sent him a card if I'd have known.
Hey, talking about LSU and Tulane, you know what they used to play for, huh, Charlie?
Tiger Rag. Yeah. Grambling beats Southern the Bayou Classic today, 29-26. And in the first round of the FCS playoffs, Southeastern beat Florida A&M 38-14, and that is your college football scoreboard. You with me?
Yep.
All right. Game balls are next. Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
To the people of Louisiana, we at Buick GMC and our dealers are here to stand with you. We know the importance of keeping in touch with loved ones, so impacted owners can push the OnStar button and get emergency support with available OnStar Crisis Assist services and complimentary data. Push your blue OnStar button to connect. See your Bayou Buick GMC dealers. Service is not offered in all situations and provided by OnStar at its sole discretion. Limited time offer for current eligible GM owners. Residency restrictions apply.
This month, AccuTemp is giving back by offering their friends at
Hancock Whitney isn't just a bank for our clients. We're investing in our hometowns, making life better for everyone. So keep dreaming. We've got your back.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Service Mastery Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Mastery Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Mastery Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person, connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
Bayou Ford has 0% for 60 months on new Ford F-150s. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a
Eagle 98.1 Game Day. Game balls. Presented by WCK Foundation Repair. Support your home team. WCK Foundation Repair.
So, Rich, you already given it to the guys that stuck it out. That was your game balls, right? You said that earlier?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just my way of saying thanks for hanging in there. I know the season didn't go as well. But officially, I want to give it to Damone Clark.
Yeah.
And he has reason. I mean, I've had so many great players wear number 18, Matt Mark, Hester, Richard Dixon, Benny Logan, Brandon Taylor, Terrence McGee, Tre'Davious White, Christian Lockertour. I could go on and on and on. But the hustle that kid has shown and how he's exemplified a collegiate athlete the entire season, and that was the last time Tiger fans get to see him play, I want to give my defensive game ball to Damone Clark.
That was very good. I'm going Max Johnson and Jeray Jenkins, kind of my co-entry here. Johnson, 22 of 38, 306 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and took an awful lot of hits tonight. And Jenkins, career high, 8 catches, 169 yards, 2 touchdowns, 21.1 yard average. Those are our game balls for the evening. And now it's time for this day in LSU history.
39 years ago tonight, Charlie.
Yeah.
First off, because you already guessed it.
Yeah.
But the most disappointing regular season loss for Charlie as an LSU fan.
I still have a hard time getting past the 2006 Auburn game, where there is still a warrant out for the arrest of that Auburn defensive back that assaulted Early Doucette on that play, and that was only one of a number of bad calls, and it was coming off of a game 2 years before that where LSU got screwed on the leverage call against Ronnie Prude. And what made that one particularly galling was I thought the 2006 team was actually better than the 2017. The 2017 caught a few breaks. They were both great teams. That 2006 team could have won a national championship. They got screwed out of it at Auburn. I'll go to my grave. It wasn't a great game plan, but they got screwed that day. It was way worse than any of the Alabama calls. The Patrick Peterson inbounds. I don't know if LSU scores on that deal, okay? But that day at Auburn, Alabama, that was the most because there was so much on the line, and I just didn't feel like they got a fair shake that day.
A couple of days before this game was played, the late Buddy DiLiberto said the chances of Tulane going to Tiger Stadium and winning that game, the Russians will take over Kenner.
Wow, this is right in the middle of the Cold War, too.
Exactly,
so that was kind of a big deal. Okay.
November 27, 39 years ago tonight, Tulane quarterback Mike McKay led Tulane on drives of 72, 76, 80, 78-yard touchdown drives. LSU went into that game coming off a huge win over Florida State to lock up the Orange Bowl. They beat number 7 Florida State the week prior, 55-21. Gary James scored on a 68-yard touchdown run late in the game. Tigers were up 28-24, but Tulane came back. They had it at the LSU 31-yard line, 4th and 3. Reggie Ragginelli caught a short pass out of the backfield. He scored. Tulane won the game as a 23-point underdog, 31-28, and it was Tulane's first win in Tiger Stadium in 39 years. They hadn't won since 1948. What made it even worse is that, and you and I were talking about this before we even got on the air tonight, the year before, LSU got hammered 48-7 by Tulane in the Superdome.
That, I actually told you this earlier. I've never seen that game from start to finish, the 82 game. The very first game I ever attended in Tiger Stadium was the Orange game, and that game was not on I was 10 years old. That game was not on television. I listened on the radio. To this day, I've seen highlights, but I have never seen that game from start to finish.
Kind of like the weather that night 39 years ago. Cool, not cold,
right?
But rainy, on and off, like tonight.
That's what it looked. That's
Same
what it looked
scenario.
like.
All right, Charlie. Look, so you put me on the spot saying you were mentioning some game today that was played, and what did they play for? Like the trophy, all right?
Yeah, the old local bucket.
I know I'm going to go out losing this one, but I got to take a shot. I got a shot.
Okay.
You follow me?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm hitting on a hard 14. I'm just hitting.
Go ahead.
All right. Cincinnati and Louisville. Huge rivalry since 1929. The winner gets what?
It's a bell.
Keg of nails.
A keg of nails.
Love you, Charles.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
God, I could go to bed now.
Somewhere.
How you like that, guys?
Oh, man. Somewhere. Who plays for, like, Iowa and Iowa State play for the telephone? There's a telephone game in that. I got Chris Courtney.
No, we already got done with the questions.
We're
That's
done?
it.
Oh,
Yes.
we're done? That's it? It's time
I
to go
asked the
home?
last one. You got it wrong.
All right. Take a break, come back, wrap things up. Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
To the people of Louisiana, we at Buick GMC and our dealers are here to stand with you. We know the importance of keeping in touch with loved ones, so impacted owners can push the OnStar button and get emergency support with available OnStar Crisis Assist services and complimentary data. Push your blue OnStar button to connect. See your Bayou Buick GMC dealers. Service is not offered in all situations and provided by OnStar at its sole discretion. Limited time offer for current eligible GM owners. Residency restrictions apply.
Hi, this is Bobby Hebert for Louisiana Dental Center. For over 40 years, you have trusted us to take care of your family's dental care. And we've always had the safety of our patients and our employees as a top priority. Now more than ever, we want you to know that you're in good hands. Whether it's an emergency or just a routine teeth cleaning, when you visit Louisiana Dental Center, you'll stay well and stay safe. Louisiana Dental Center, your dental home team. We'll see you today.
For over 14 years, Audi of Baton Rouge on Airline Highway.
Great. My advice, as I always told my boys, do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops? I'll take a little cheese.
Front to Back Boat Service has been family owned and operated for 30 years. And the Sherman family is NMEA certified. That's the National Marine Electronics Association at Front to Back. They are committed to improving the safety and technology of marine electronics through installer training, interface standards. And look, the fall and the winter, it's the perfect time to do that yearly maintenance you've been putting off. Get those parts you've been wanting. So schedule your appointment today at Front to Back North Airway off of Airline Highway.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law offices of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
Tonight, we invite you to celebrate life, wherever and whenever you can, understanding that time is never on our side. Instead, gather up your friends tonight and share a few stories and laughs over a good bottle of wine. Or maybe a family meal that gives everyone a chance to reconnect and remember what's really important, whether it's for a birthday, an anniversary, or simply to remind someone special that they are loved. Rufino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, the place that's going to be convenient for you during an inconvenient time. Look, you hear me talk about my four boys all the time, and sometimes things like stitches, well, they happen. And in fact, they have. And Patient Plus is always taking care of us, just like they'll do the same for you. And now with 7 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m., 7 days a week. And also at PatientPlusUC.com, you can sign up for your appointment on the way to the clinic. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks.
And HD1 Baton Rouge, Eagle 98.
Eagle 98.1 Game Day wrapping up. The search is on for LSU's next coach, officially, I guess, in earnest here. Again, if you missed at the top or at the very beginning of the show, we didn't hear this, but it came out in a press conference a little bit later that Lincoln Riley says he won't be the next LSU coach, whether we take him at his word or if it's just to get everybody off the trail. We'll see. We've heard coaches say that before. Dave Aranda in the Big 12 championship game next week. Billy Napier in the Sun Belt championship game, although we said our guy Ross Dellinger is reporting that he could do a deal with Florida and still coach in that game. Matt Campbell's name's been on the list. He has been rumored out at USC as well. Mario Cristobal's name caught a little bit of run during the search. We had some names sent to us tonight, from fans. What about this guy? What about this guy? What about Brian Kelly at Notre Dame? What about Bill O'Brien? What about Lane Kiffin? At this point, I'm not even going to speculate anymore. It's Woodward's. It's Woodward's playing the land now, and he's been on the job for at least 6 weeks, if not well before. I think after the UCLA game, I think he got in gear, and I think he knows what he's doing. I think he's still got his plan, but I don't know what that plan is. If it is certain coaches, I will say, well, that would have been a botched hire if there was some of the names on that list or the next coach. But I'll tell you what I'm not going to do. I'm not going crazy on any of this stuff until he hires somebody. I'll make my thoughts known on how the search went after the search is over.
You know what? Nobody knows how many years we have left, how many days we have left. But, for me, Drew Brees gave me the greatest joy in my life when they won Super Bowl 44. And I don't think, no matter how long I have left, I'll ever see a season like 2019. And we could sit here and question about the hires and the interviews and whatever, but the fact that Ed Ogeron, and, whoever you need to give credit to, Burrow, Brady, it's irrelevant. He was still the head coach of that team.
Absolutely.
And it's the two greatest moments. I can't think of anything that would supersede those two moments. And, whatever Ed decides to do, he's got $17 million. He says he's not going to coach for a year. I wish him the very best. And I will say this, Charlie, I'm not a big book reader. But if ever down the road Ed decides I want to sit down and tell all what happened between January 13th of 2020 when the final seconds went off that clock to what happened tonight, November 27th of 2021. A tell-all book about what I did wrong, what I should have done. Here's what happened. Here's the people behind the scenes that impacted me. Everything is on the line. That would be a book. I don't care how much it costs. I would buy it and read it from cover to cover.
It would be an interesting tell-all for sure. You know what? The guy will always have 19. We'll always have Paris. Will always have 19. And so I'm glad that they got to go out tonight, and it was a storybook ending kind of way to beat the guy that almost got the job, but he got the job, and then you were behind and you make the play. And it was a fun night for Tiger fans. And then you get into the coaching search, and now everybody's all frazzled again. Get a good night's sleep, wake up, have a good breakfast tomorrow, and we'll see what happens. But I do expect things will happen pretty quickly, no matter who the guy is. As far as a bowl game, LSU is obviously qualified for a bowl now. But the SEC's got 13 bowl teams, and they don't have 13 bowl tie-ins. So where they might go is anybody's guess, and they've got to have a spot. They're not guaranteed a spot. It's likely, but it's not guaranteed a spot. So I haven't done all of the bowl math, so we may do another show, we may not, but that's kind of where they are.
You know what, Charles?
Right now.
Everybody went to the stadium tonight. It doesn't matter what faction of LSU fans you are, the pro-Ogeron, anti-Ogeron. Every Tiger fan left that stadium happy tonight. You got your money's worth. Last second drive. It'll be called the drive forever. And then you got O to go out on top, and the players absolutely gave it 100% all night long. So great effort by the team. Ed goes away, and we'll see what lies in the future for LSU football.
Final score once again: LSU 27 and Texas A&M 24.